All right, mic check. Excellent. It looks like we're working. Thanks a lot, Cena and Brian Ripley, for getting into the chat right away at the beginning of the show. Appreciate your support, everyone's support. Hey, Dad, what's up, Brian Ripley? It's way past your bedtime. Just want to let you know that. So make me ground you. All right, Jtrain Fitness Show 11/9/2015. I'm excited to be back. Last week it kind of was an issue. We had it all fragmented. It looked all discombobulated. If you guys are looking at the stream and it looks like there might be issues, please let me know in the chat. That would be greatly. Where's my bottle? It would be greatly appreciated. So I know if maybe I need to adjust some things, but I think I moved some stuff around, fixed it. I think we should be having a pretty solid stream tonight. I might be going until 10. I might be going until 10:30. Never know. Depends on like kind of where we go. We've been going for like an hour every day. But if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, anything like that that you want addressed here, please let me know. Tell your friends about it as well. How do you get your neck stronger? Okay, yeah, I'll definitely answer that question for you. In your bottle, check the microwave. I think I put your formula in a bottle, one of those little like baby bag little plastic things. It should be in the microwave. It's nice and warm, but before you drink it, make sure that your mother takes the bottle and squirts it on her arm. Make sure it's not scalding hot. Since you got here early, Brian Ripley, I will answer your question first. How do you get your neck stronger? Well, I can't say that I know like a definitive answer, but I know some. I know. I think I can maybe lead you in the right direction. Now, these traps right here, when I'm in the gym, I don't know if this is a great angle to show them, but I've always had, you know, good traps. Like, traps have been good to me. Um, and my arms are not getting stronger. I've been working out, but it's not working. Sure, I'll answer that as well. Um, so my traps have always kind of grown, but I've never actually done anything to work them out. Like I've never done a day where I was like specifically focusing on traps, and when I tell people that, it kind of comes as a surprise to them that that is indeed the case. What I think happens when I was when I was a kid, I had a book bag, and I would refuse to use a locker, so I would always put all the weight into that back strap, so I'd always be like this and like hunched over, and I think that would kind of like bring up my traps. I don't think that's why I have these traps that I do now. I think that what it is that I'm doing a lot of motions and exercises that when I'm lifting, I'm kind of doing this motion. If you want to get your neck stronger, they actually have machines in the gym that like there's like a pad right here. Not all gyms have this, so be on the lookout. If your gym has it, you'll be in luck. But if not, you just won't be able to use that machine. But there probably are some things that you can do for neck. But you put your head on the plate and you just kind of go back like this and rock it back and forth, and that'll indeed work like these muscles right in here. When you can do a bunch of trap exercises to where you have to kind of stiffen up your neck and do that and hold that. Maybe do some farmer's carries that will allow you to kind of keep tensing that up, and over time build up your traps, and therefore I would imagine build up your neck as well. When you work out any muscle, one thing that you should probably keep in mind is to keep in mind the line of drive and like see where your body goes like when you flex, and then kind of take advantage of that. That kind of leads you like where your line of drive should be, what your range of motion should be. Um, why would you want to target neck? Well, I mean, like traps look pretty tight. Like if you have like really nice traps, you can really now. I don't know if traps are really considered neck, and if that's what Brian Ripley is like talking about. A strong neck is probably good for because you have to hold up your head a long time. Maybe if you are in impact sports or something, you don't want to have like a weak neck, I guess, to where you could maybe a weak neck to where it might become an issue. But try that. It's good to have a well balanced body with definition and symmetry, symmetrical size, everything like that. Because I can tell you that if one thing is even slightly not symmetrical to the rest of your body, even though I disagree, ask Imgur about my legs. They blew me up with that Vegeta costume with legs, but it was mostly I'm not worried about it. Your arms are not getting stronger. I've been working out. Well, I am. I do know a lot about arms. I think that I could definitely lead you in the right direction with arms. With arms, biceps, for example, like it's a small muscle group, right? It's a small muscle group. that doesn't really have really that much articulation. It just kind of like squeezes and then moves things like this. It supinates, or I think that's supination. It does this kind of motion as well. Um, Take advantage of that. And since it's such a small muscle group, you can throw a lot of as long as you're throwing a lot of like weight and resistance, and you're doing drop sets and lifting till failure, it's gonna grow, and it's gonna grow pretty fast because again, very little effort to get a ton of stimulation in it. Um, if your arms are not getting stronger, I would recommend that you constantly try to push your maxes. If you're not incorporating drop sets, I've discussed drop sets on this show before. That's when you lift until failure, then you drop the weight. You do like 20 pounds lighter, maybe 50 pounds lighter if it's like a squat or something, and go until failure again. That'll help you gain strength in your arms as well. Strength is a lot of just continuously trying to up your maxes and continuously trying to push the weight safely. I mean, if it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't feel good, definitely don't do that. That's definitely a way you can do it. Make sure you're lifting triceps and biceps. With biceps, maybe you do a superset, which is a different exercise that you do after you are done with your target exercise. So like, let's say I'm doing bicep curls and I want to superset it with pull-ups where your grip is on the inside like this. I would do my curls, then I would stop doing those curls. When I'm done doing that, drop sets, lift till failure on that, I immediately go into these kinds of pull-ups right here, and that will assist me, and that'll assist you in gaining strength as well. And then with triceps, you can always incorporate dips. Doing the same thing with the dips as a superset. You can always do your drop sets as well. Make sure you're doing the full range of motion and constantly try to push your maxes. If you're getting to like 12 reps fairly easily with a certain amount of weight, try stepping it up like 10 pounds. You're a lot stronger than you think. You just have to keep challenging it. And with muscles, it's especially if you're a natural bodybuilder like myself, it's important to always push your maxes, because that's how you grow, that's how you get strength, that's how you get aesthetics, hypertrophy, everything like that. I hope that answered your question. Speaking of going to exhaustion, this is what Serena is asking me. You did chest and tris on Sunday. You did dumbbell press of 10 times 45 each side. Is that 45 pounds, 10 reps each side? And the last one was very tough, but then I'm blown for the rest of my workout. Yeah, and you should be. Your the number one target of your if you feel like you're getting weaker through your workout, I think you're doing it right. I definitely don't have the amount of strength that I have. Like if I a lot of times I'll finish with pull-ups. Okay, reps. So 10 reps for 45 each side. That's cool. That's great. If I'm doing pull-ups immediately the second I get into the gym, I can crush them. I can do a ton of them. I save them for last, and I'm only able to do like 5 or so, and that's a great indicator that I had a great workout, because you're trying to exhaust your muscle. You're trying to give it a huge workload. You don't want to give it something it already knows how to do, because it's already built, and it's already built to work to that level. That's why I would recommend what you did. You might have discovered the correct way to lift, in my opinion, on accident, by doing your heavy power movements first. Like, I'll tell you, when I do chest day, I'm going to lead with chest press, because it's a ton of weight. It's the only time in my workout I'm going to be able to do that kind of weight, and I'm going to gain the benefits of doing that kind of weight. So do the movements that are like heaviest, require explosive movements with shoulders. If I'm doing like shoulder press, right, like shoulder press, that's like a power movement, and then I can do that's the most weight that I can do on shoulder day. That's what I'm going to lead with, and I've done that for 6 years. Don't worry about like switching it up, everything like that. Do what exercises you can do at the times you can do them. I mean, if you're getting bored and you want to switch it up, absolutely do that. I mean, you don't necessarily have to do your power movements first, but if you don't care, I would recommend that. Pull-ups, for example, like, why would I lead with pull-ups for my back? Because that would exhaust me going into like my more powerful weighted movements, like let's say like that machine where I should know the technical term for the device, but I always forget it. Like the hammer pull down machine or something like that, or any kind of rowing motion. I should lead with those first because the pull ups are just my body weight unless you're using weight for it. But I would recommend saving your lighter exercise, the exercise where you do the lightest weight for last. You could barely do one push up at the end of your workout. That's great. You probably gained a lot of, you probably got a lot of gains out of that workout. That, to me, if someone came up to me and said exactly what you're saying, Cena, I think that you had a fantastic workout, and you probably um uh collected a lot of gains off of that. Just make sure you're eating your body weight in grams of protein. I've seen your height. You're about my height, so get at least 170 grams of protein a day, and make sure you're sleeping very well, which is something I need to do as well, because that's when you start to grow. So keep working out like that, Cena. I think you're doing the right thing. Excellent question, guys. Thanks, Brian Ripley. Thanks, Cena. Keep asking questions, and I will keep answering them. Do we have anybody else in the chat? Doesn't look like it. Anyone watching, if you haven't made a Twitch account, go ahead and make a Twitch account. Chat with me. Say what's up. I'll answer any questions that you have, pertaining to the scope of the show. Or if I like the question, I'll answer it anyway. So I asked somebody last week, and I was supposed to answer the question last week, but we got into such a great discussion. Okay, so what is good for lower back? The one exercise that I see done a lot for lower back when people want to work their lower back, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to describe, but there's like this apparatus that is like where you put your feet right here, and then you like rest your body like this, and your legs are stretched out straight, and you hold a plate. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's like this curved like cushion that goes at your like hip area, your groin, your the lower waist area, and you hold weight. Oftentimes it's like a 45-pound plate, and you just bob up and down like this, getting a full range of motion into your back. Deadlifts, I'm sure, hit them in some way. Just again, be careful when you're doing these powerlifting exercises. Again, I don't squat, I don't deadlift. A lot of people think I'm crazy for that. I definitely don't bench press. A lot of people think I'm crazy for that. I can defend myself, I think, in reasonings as to why I don't do that. But deadlift, I mean, I definitely feel it on my lower back, because every time I do deadlifts, maybe because I might be doing them wrong, because you really have to work at it to understand the form of deadlifts. And my lower back just tightens up. But the one that I always hear for lower back, I'll be honest with you, I don't necessarily target my lower back. I like how my lower back looks. I've always had a V cut into my waistline. The one that I hear the most people discuss is holding the plate, bobbing up and down on that apparatus. It felt very good muscle strain doing a deadlift, but I'm paranoid about injury. Yeah, you should be. It's like runners, man. Like Cena, it's like runners. They want to tell you how great running is, but then they're wondering why at like age 60 they're hobbling around and they can't do any strenuous exercise because they've completely blown their knees out. They got plantar fasciitis. They got arthritic legs. They want to run but they can't. They can't move. It's because they're putting a lot of stress on their body. They say that your body's built to handle, but I don't necessarily. That's true. Try the exercise I told you. You could even probably rig something up to where you're using resistance bands to where you are working your lower back. YouTube's always a great resource if you think that the person talking to you is credible. Always take that as anecdotal, though. Don't take that as gospel. Go to bodybuilding.com, see what they say for lower back. Again, take it as anecdotal. Don't take it as gospel. And that should be good. But yeah, you felt a good strain. I remember when I deadlifted, when I was experimenting with deadlifting, I felt a good strain in my back. So much, in fact, that my legs just didn't want to move, and I had to actually sit down. I think that the way that my hip is like my hip goes, I think, a little slightly more out, and when I put stress, it kind of does, more of a strain on my lower back. And what happens is like I feel intense tightness in my lower back, so I don't do a lot of those exercises. So Try that. Try the bobbing up and down. Most gyms have that apparatus. You'll know exactly what it is. Just you almost lay like Superman. Top top torso is kind of hanging out. Just go up and down. Make sure you're doing the full range of motion. When you do that, holding the weight, holding the plate. And let me know how that works. Do it for a couple weeks. Tell me if you feel like you've felt any improvement. If you see increased muscle mass, size, anything like that. I'm curious. I definitely love to know. So last week in the gym, a guy was discussing with me. He asked me a question. Roman chair bat. Yes, that's what it's called. I think you're right. I think you're right. It's a Roman chair. Um, I don't know if a Roman chair is another name for like that power tower where you stick your legs out. Then it's not Roman chair, but you know what I'm talking about. It like has these pads on it that like you slide your feet into and it locks your feet in and then you go like up and down. Um, yeah, you can use weight with that. You can and it's fairly safe because your body's not bending in a unnatural way. You're just holding the plate and you're bobbing up and down. So it should be pretty fine. I mean, you can get away with that. It shouldn't be of intense risk when you're doing that movement. So give it a try. See how it goes. See how it is. Let me know. I'll keep answering your questions as I see it. I know there's like a delay on this stream, so I might start my other question, and if still have questions, I'll keep answering. Um, the guy in the gym wanted to talk to me about increasing his chest size. I was supposed to answer this last week, but I didn't get around to it. We just had some really great discussion. So we never got around to it. I've said it before on this show. The best when you want to build chest, I would say ditch bench press immediately. You're wasting your time in the gym. Are you activating chest? Yeah, a little bit. You are. Are you getting the most bang out of your buck? Are you optimally working out and exercising your chest? No, I don't think so. When you do a bench press, the things that are important when you're working out chest, if you want to get, let me see if I can do it. If you want to get like a full chest, um, what you need to remember is you want your humerus to cross over your pec. And not just like this. As a good guide, you want your elbow and your forearm to at the same time go underneath, I guess, your pec, your nipple area. And as you can see when I do that, if I can show you, as I do that, I get like a full activation of my chest. The entire chest is hard right now, right? If I just did it up here, just this top part is. If I, come underneath, and if you just go underneath, my top part is not necessarily completely activated. You also have to come in and then push out and up, and that'll completely activate your entire pec on that side. So what I'm saying is every if you want to fully develop chest, every chest exercise should incorporate a fly, I believe, if you don't want to waste any time. Can you do exercises that target the upper, the lower chest? Absolutely, probably. Any chest exercise can do that depending on your line of drive. But if you don't want to waste your time, if you want to get the most bang out of your buck, bring your elbow and your forearm underneath your pec and bring your humerus across your pec. So it kind of looks like doing that, right? It blows up the chest and then come up if you can in that motion. That'll completely activate your chest. And you won't have to worry about focusing bottom, top, whatever. And you can if every exercise has that, you've had a complete chest workout. You've done I do four exercises, 4 sets. I'll also drop it on chest day. I'll also do a superset. I'll superset some of my sets with push-ups. And again, when I do a push-up, I do it if I'm doing it like a fly motion and taking advantage of that line of drive, of that angling, to where my entire chest is being blown up. And what'll happen is you're stimulating pecs, you're fully stimulating your chest, and over time it'll grow that way because you've done a whole gradient of stimulation across your pec. Um, that's what I would recommend. When you're doing don't do bench press, because again, bench press just does this. It doesn't utilize this fly motion. So you're not getting 100% of the stress in your chest. So what I do is and also when you do any exercise where you're using like a barbell, where you're using like a straight line, when you're utilizing both hands at the same time, I don't like that because one side will always, most definitely, always overpower the other, and over time, you will have one side. They might both look aesthetically symmetrical, and lucky you if they do. But one side will definitely be like a couple reps stronger than the other side. Which might be bad if you're trying to lift for strength or for utility in your strength, your power, anything like that. So keep that in mind. My chest day looks like I do a dumbbell press to a fly motion, 4 sets, 4 exercises. I drop on or 4 sets. I drop on every. I do a drop set on every single set. For 2 of those sets, I might do push-ups. Then I do cables that underhand that utilize that fly motion as well. I also do cables that utilize the. It's still the same kind of motion, but it's kind of from like an up top, and I hold it. And then also, you should always do the chest fly machine in the gym, because it's doing that exact thing. And again, you want to sit to where your arm's doing this. You don't want to sit to where you're doing this. You're not doing anything for your chest that high. You want to sit. Maybe you have to stand where your arms are coming like this. And that's how you get a swollen chest. That's how you get a big chest. That's what I recommend. And also, once you've done that, water those muscles, and also put them in an optimal environment to grow with eating a solid nutritional regimen of protein and sleep. Make sure always get your sleep. That's when you grow, guys. Did you do underhand pressing up? Yeah. So what the push up looks like, Cena, is I hold the push up like this. If you're down, it doesn't matter if your elbows are out, and that might actually help you in guiding this. So again, keep in mind what your humerus is doing, right? Keep your hands close because you're kind of putting that power like right here, and then do this with your elbows. You see how my humerus is like, it is sliding across my chest, and it's squeezing everything inside here, right? And it's squeezing everything inside here, pumping it up, stimulating it, giving it stress, and then again pushing out and back down. I do it like that. So yeah, it's like an underhand. Where you want to angle this is through your chest. Put all your weight kind of forward, and that like kind of swing, pressing motion until failure. As many as you can until failure. Even when you think you failed, do like 5 more. That's probably where your true failure point is. So if you guys have any more questions on chest, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's you'll develop chest if you do that, and then also you're pressing weight. Your chest can handle a lot of weight, so don't be afraid to safely go heavy with chest. I definitely do that, and I'm telling you, like, once you master chest, once you get the motions down, it'll become your favorite muscle group. It's definitely my favorite muscle group. I love chest day. I save it for the end of the week because it's my favorite. And once I'm like tired from doing workouts for the rest of the week, I don't mind doing chest because I like it so much. So that's another side I'd give you. Another guy today, as I was walking into a PetSmart, we had a discussion. We talked about stuff, and I asked him if I could answer this question on my show, and he said, sure, why not? Going back to neck, so I mean, it's good that Brian Ripley asked me this question. It's pretty cool that he did. He says that he has a neck problem. He might have had surgery, might have injured it at one point, something to where he is limited working out because of it. And he asked me like what kind of workouts he could do. He was telling me like, he would do a lot of exercise where like the bar is behind his neck, and I said, yeah, that's probably not a good idea if you're doing neck. But if you're working out neck, um, there's definitely you can do a lot. You can still do a lot of mostly like most lifts. I mean, you don't want to do anything where you're like you're tensing up your neck. Maybe you're not doing traps. Maybe you're not doing anything where you're like arching your body and flexing your neck. But you can do curls. You do a bunch of curls. You can do your tricep push downs, chest press if you lay flat to where your neck isn't utilized at all. You can crunches as long as you're not tensing your neck. I mean, crunches might give you some sort of discomfort, but I don't think it'd be necessarily dangerous. When you could do rows, even pull-ups, but again, make sure that you're not doing any kind of pulling or resting of a bar on your neck. I definitely wouldn't recommend squats. I definitely wouldn't recommend lat pull down with the bar. Um, Anything that kind of touches your neck or makes the line of drive like directly behind your head, um, coming down, I wouldn't recommend that. But I definitely think that you can work out with having neck issue. It depends on what your neck issue is. I'm not an MD. I would definitely consult your doctor first, and see what they say. Especially if you've had surgery, um, ask them what your capabilities are, what you are limited to, etc. So that's something I would definitely recommend. Those are my two topics for tonight. Actually, I mean, I guess we got through that pretty fast. Do we have anybody else? That we got Mr. Nody. What's up, him Nody? How you doing, bud? Yeah. So I guess tonight we'll have a pretty short show. It's probably good. I did not get a lot of sleep last night, so in closing, I will maybe discuss sleep. Real quick. Let's see. With my chest. Oh, actually, Cena's coming in late game, being clutch, giving me the dagger. With my chest workout, I was doing the dumbbell press and being exhausted. Then I moved on to decline, straight, and incline press in that order. I ended up going down to 10 pounds on my incline press. I'm worried that I'm exhausting too much early on and not getting the benefit of the incline press later on. Is it still okay since all these stages it is exhausting? You should always be exhausting yourself. At first you might not be able to do it. The only thing I'd recommend is that you're giving 100% of what you got and you're lifting well. And if the weight is too much, like if you can't do 5 reps, bring the weight down. But if you're feeling more and more exhausted, I mean, that's a good thing. And it's a lot like running. The first time you run a mile, you might be exhausted, but if you keep running mile after mile after mile again every day, right? Eventually, like 4 miles, half a marathon doesn't seem like too much. Your body will adapt to it. I mean, I from what I know of you, Cena, you're fairly new to lifting, so this is completely normal. If you're getting exhausted, just drop the weight down to a weight that you can do between 6 to 8 reps, 6 to 8 repetitions, is what I would recommend. And the more and more you do this, I guarantee you less and less exhausted you'll get. The less and less sore you will get. I first time I started working out, I'd get really really sore after my workouts. But now, I mean, I still get sore, and sometimes I get more sore than usual. Um, you know, but again, like you get used to it over time. You get stronger and stronger. You're able to crush workouts. I know that, like, I remember a time when 3 sets, 3 workouts seemed like it took forever, and now I do 4 sets, 4 workouts. And if I'm trying to speed through my workouts, I'll do 3 sets, three workouts, and it's like, man, did I do enough? I just flew through this workout. So you're a physics guy. It'll eventually just become all relative to like where you're at, what you do, how consistently you do it. So yeah, it's not too much. It's not bad. It's gonna help you because you're throwing this is a game of throwing your body stuff it cannot handle, um, because you want to grow into something that can handle what it can't handle, and that's where you get the hypertrophy and the growth, and everything. What you see here is like 6 years worth of um, my body preparing it for day after day of not being able to do um, what I've thrown at it, or consistently giving it what at one time was like an impossible challenge. So again, it sounds to me you're pushing it hard in the gym, and that's great. That's fantastic. I would keep doing what you're doing, man. I mean, is you have to do 3 sets, 3 workouts for a couple months, do that, or just maybe just go all in. If you feel whatever you feel like you can be consistent with, um, or and still finish your workout and not ever think that you're gonna want to just give up too soon, um, do that. But again, it sounds like what you're doing is good, is beneficial for you. So keep it up, bud. Keep it up. All right, 10 o'clock. So let me talk about sleep real quick. I could talk about sleep forever, and I might make a show where I do talk about sleep. Closing, I'll spend a couple minutes on sleep. Sleep is extremely important, guys, and it sucks that we live in a society that kind of screws with our sleep schedules, kind of screws with what is optimal for us. But I will tell you that sleep is always and always will be the most underrated supplement. Sleep affects your focus, it affects your memory, it affects your energy, it affects your growth in bodybuilding. Uh, I can't think of anything that if you were and I'm kind of guilty of this. I don't get probably enough sleep, or the amount of sleep that I should be getting to grow, because I commute to work very far away, and I have to wake up very early, and I'm also the kind of guy who likes to stay up late, whose optimal sleep schedule and optimal timetable does not coincide with going to bed at like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, or you know freaking 8 p.m. It's not going to happen. um Luckily, I think I can catch up on that on days where I can telework, or the weekends. But for those of you who are constantly, maybe you have kids, commitments, if you're trying to bodybuild, you have to um, take time to sleep, because that is the time where your body's breaking down stuff, repairing stuff, and growing muscle. If your goal, and a lot of you are brought to my channel, because you want to grow muscle, you have to get sleep. And maybe the reason why I had success is because, yeah, I was waking up early in college, um, but I also had times where I could just sleep until noon, for a lot of days, and I took advantage of that. I was never a morning person. I still don't get morning people. Whatever's the optimal day for you is the optimal day for you. They're kind of the same people. Yeah, I don't know, like vegetarian people or whatever, who just say like, oh, this is the best way, this is the greatest way. It's whatever works for you, but make sure that whatever you do is like whatever you got to do, get sleep. A lot of people say Monday is the worst day of the week. Mondays are actually the best day of the week for me in terms of like work productivity. And you know why? It's because I have 20 plus hours of sleep behind me, and I feel it. Like I can actually even go to bed at like 1 o'clock on a Sunday and wake up at 4 on a Monday, because I have that bank of sleep. So whatever you do, if you're doing this bodybuilding game, make sure there's at least 2 consecutive days where you can get a combined like 20 hours of sleep, because that's how you grow. You're not going to grow if you do like 3 things. If you don't have good nutrition, adequate amounts of protein, or nutrition that will put your body in an environment to where it will grow and make gains. If you drink alcohol excessively, it's just my opinion. I'm not saying people who drink are good or bad or whatever, but it directly affects protein synthesis, and if you don't get enough sleep, because I mean, even if you don't get enough sleep, your workouts are gonna suck. Like man, on days where I just like screw up my entire week and I don't get sleep, like there's no way I'm gonna have the focus and the energy to power through workouts with the intensity that I need to work it out at. So make sure you're getting a ton of sleep, guys. Make sure you are getting a ton of rest. That's my word of wisdom. Jtrain's advice for this episode. And anytime I tell you to do something with bodybuilding, nutrition wise, workout wise, for instance, sleep wise, um, I'm always gonna tell you to do it gradually. I'm not saying like be like, oh, I'm gonna sleep. Like even with sleep, like it seems like an easy thing to do. But if your lifestyle has been such that like you're just so used to going to bed at a certain time, maybe what you do is, this week let's make a Jtrain challenge. Let's say this week you vow to go to bed 1 hour early, 30 minutes earlier, right? 30 minutes earlier. Do whatever you got to do to go to bed 30 minutes earlier each night. See how that affects your workout. See how that affects your gains, your progress, how you feel, how you heal, all of that. And let me know how that makes you feel. If you want to message me at jtrainfitness@gmail.com, hit me up on any of my other social media. Tell me how that works. Let me know. But try to get sleep and tell me that it is not the best most overrated supplement of all time. All right, that's my word of wisdom. This was a short show. I appreciate everyone who contributed. Cena, Brian Ripley, thank you so much for being part of the show. If there are people watching this show who don't have Twitch accounts, thank you so much for watching. Make a Twitch account. It's completely free. I'd love to have you in the chat. I'd love to have a bunch of people in the chat. If you enjoy my content, if you enjoy the Jtrain Fitness Show, the Fantasy Football Show, or any of the video game shows, the video game like Let's Plays, give me a follow if you haven't already. Tell your friends. I'd love for you to spread the word. And fitness, 'cause I don't want people throwing a lot of money away supplements fitness that they don't when they don't have to. I want to give my advice, free advice, help people with my knowledge, with my anecdotal. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, .com/Nataku124. You can follow me on Instagram at jtrain124. Tweet me at jtrainfitness, or email your questions at jtrainfitness@gmail.com. If you feel like any of this advice is worth any monetary value, you can donate below. Donate button. If you do that, I love you forever. And yeah, you too, Cena. Have a great night. So my next show will be tomorrow at 9 p.m. with the legend Derek Koger. We will be discussing fantasy football, getting in that time of the year, time of the season where every small decision matters. So thank you everyone who paid attention tonight, who tuned in. I really appreciate your support. Next week, same time, 9:30 Eastern time. Any questions that you have, hit me up.